Let it be known that I am technically on time. Actually, I'm early. If you want to go by the fact that I had 10 seconds left before the 10-minute mark. I didn't actually wind up uploading any, like, shorts or anything yesterday. However, that does not mean that I did nothing yesterday. I actually did quite a bit. I redid all of my freaking pinned stuff on my socials. I recorded showcases for all of my models. I updated my sheet on like all of my freaking commission info on my card. And I updated my VGen stuff. The VGen stuff I still have to sort of update a little more. Because I have to get the... what's the word I'm looking for? The like half body stuff and whatnot. All I have is my full body things. So if people want to go through VGen in order to get like half bodies for their models or whatever, either modeling or rigging, then they have to still go through my card and like email me or whatever. What is this? Talk subject, okay. Before I get distracted, let me find some music here. We'll start here. Hello, can I select all? You deselected my freaking... whatever, dude. One of these days we'll actually get a new PC and then we'll be in business. Part of the reason why I decided to yap today is because Harper's anniversary is tomorrow, and I didn't get started on their anniversary art last night like I intended to, because I was learning design doll again. Because one of the art servers I'm in was talking about how like you can actually set up perspective and whatnot properly in it now and whatnot. So I want to play around a bit more with it. Honestly, Harper's might wind up being a square like this one is. Because what I want to kind of do is, like, them holding a shot up to the camera with, like, a happy anniversary kind of deal. Or just, like, a happy anniversary off to the side and whatnot, you know? While music is setting up and I am getting my frame drops as a result, let me... make myself up a gamer subs here. I'm no longer in the red, at least my mental red. Money-wise. And by that I mean I have over 100 freaking... That's it. I'm not exactly freaking in the green or anything. But I got a handful of commissions that I'm working on. Are these actually anything, or are these just... Because I'm noticing now that there's a bunch of these red little flecks in here. I think that's just part of the freaking powder. But we'll probably run about 2 hours tonight. I don't think I'm going to run too terribly long. 3 hours is probably going to be my maximum on that. That'll end me at midnight, and then I can freaking eat, and then I can... work the rest of the night on the harbor art. I cannot wait until everything like cools off though. So bring up the Fumo. Nice! What kind of donut? How you doing tonight, Bill? That's weird, the whoop didn't show up on the screen. It normally does. Half of these things that are hanging off the edge here. That's the advert slideshow. That's the explanation, which I guess makes sense. I don't know why it's... I'm not too bad. Overheated as per usual, but aside from that, not too bad. I forgot how long I freaking made. This can be much shorter. I don't need the explanation to be 5 miles long. It was exclusively that for explaining what the video was we were watching. Do you like whittle with it, or what exactly have you been doing? You did mention the ear knife came in when it, like the day it did come in. Most of my stuff's been freaking organizing behind the scenes stuff, which has been something. And I still have a bit to do, I suppose, but my new schedule has made me notably more productive in that regard. Because I've gone from spending 3 goddamn months going, I should update this, I should update that, I should figure this out, I should sort this out, to over the course of 2 break days, getting back to doing short-form videos, updating all of my info on my socials for the pins, updating my commission sheet, updating my VGen, finally doing showcases for all of the model rigging. And then obviously art practice. Oh, nice. Definitely not a whittling knife, so I see your point, but it is a nice looking knife. Ironic that you redeem that just as I'm taking a sip. But I suppose I'll take another. Just for the redeem purposes. My long weekend is also over. No more cigarette in mouth. You know, for the single stream that I did because I got sidetracked on Saturday. I just wound up hanging out with Teber and working on their new design, which they currently look like a goddamn Gundam villain. I'm doing better than I was most of the weekend as far as, like, a chunk of my mental capacity goes. It's arguable as to where I sit on the spectrum due to... I don't know. Like I freaking tweet/skeeted about earlier. I have this, like, freaking... what I can only describe as a yearning freaking thing in my brain. Because there's a few people that I became mutuals with, like, right before everyone started abandoning Twitter for a hot minute. And some of them are exclusive to Blue Sky, never freaking became mutuals on there, and freaking... I don't know. Even though I don't think that there's a disconnect or anything, freaking... It's one of those... Man, I kinda wish. Granted, when is, Ooh, purple handle. I don't know how, Hey Yuka, how you doing tonight? When is... It's August, right? Yes. August 10th is when the next planned one would be. I mean, there's also the fact that I could honestly just draw them at any point in time, but if I'm doing leisure drawing, not related to birthdays or anything, I have jurors, I have Ray, I have Crimson, I have a few others. And then obviously, like non-leisure things that are not birthdays are a few pseudo commissions. I don't know how to exactly describe them. They are requests that partially I don't know if I will charge at least one of them for, because one of them is for Nami, and since Nami is currently handling new PC stuff, and I have a strange feeling that she's going to do like she was doing before and just freaking sneak in a little extra into the budget without telling me, because she hasn't freaking told me how much the insurance was. Which is kind of in a similar vein to last time, where the code is, I'm not telling you because then you'll know if there is me tossing in more money, and I don't want you to freaking feel bad about it. It's like Eric, when I'm like, you're not going to tell me how much the iPhone was, are you? So at the very least, her primary commission, quote-unquote, I'm going to put the commission in quotes, is going to be, I'm not charging her for it because Christ knows that she's already freaking spending enough money on me. Even if she classifies it as a gift, I'm freaking making the executive decision to make her commission a gift as a result. It's like a reverse money war, I suppose. A money cold war? I don't know. Problem is that the Cold Wars don't exactly work, because if the people want to freaking send me shit, they just do it anyway. I can't exactly stop them. We'll shuffle a bit now. Actually, yes, I do want to kind of listen to this right now. The primary, like, canceled project, though, that I did want to talk about, I suppose, will probably lead us to first break. Because it'll probably take me about 30 minutes or so, and this I kind of want to have be its own, like, tangent bit. Because I might make a video on it, you know, freaking still get a little something out of it as a... Or I might, like, take this clip and, like, turn it into a video, you know what I'm saying? Also because, like, the topic of it is kind of important. It won't change anything, but... Like, I had this idea, and I mentioned it to Kraka. I wanted to do, like, a small little video series similar to my The Problem With series, where it's, like... I guess it wouldn't have been in the same vein, because I'm blatantly saying that I'm being objective with it, rather than trying to clickbait it out, but the people that it would have covered for it would have for sure been, like... people that get hate in general, kind of like controversial. Like freaking Fruit and Tectone are two people that were like on the list for it. Apricot v Shoujo Fruit, I should specify. But there's a few reasons I decided not to do it. A, because people just kind of don't care what, like, the facts are with half the hate that they give. Like, there's blatant evidence and whatnot against, like, things like the Fruit incident and whatnot, and people don't give a shit. They're still constantly going over, like, the same thing. Like, both of the individuals in question, like, people don't give a shit about the facts on it or aren't, like, willing to give it 2 seconds of thought. They just want to have their opinion and then constantly parrot it over and over again. Like, in the Fruit example, there's one dude that his entire account is literally just every single post about her posting the exact same image under every single one. And he has done this for like 3 or so years. Like, the people that are doing this shit do not give a shit about the facts or the freaking or whatnot. Another reason why I decided not to is, like, a big reason, like, I compare it to the problem with series. Because it would have covered, you know, people that are a bit controversial. Like I said, Tectone, Fruit. I think those are the only two that I really had, like, originally planned to in a certain way, because they're the ones that normally wind up coming up that aren't, like, I don't know. I don't know how to exactly describe anyone else that people normally, like, talk about. But the problem is that the problem with series covered tags and how they were used. I mean, it was like blatant clickbait to a certain degree. It was mostly saying how the tags were not used properly and whatnot. And I don't have to do, like, a whole lot of research in that regard. Like, obviously, I'd give examples on series where they were used wrong, but I don't affect anything in the grand scheme of things if I, like, make a mistake in bitching about how people use, like, the NTR tag or the ugly bastard tag or whatever. Right. If I mess up on research, which there is a lot of research, that's another reason I'm not doing the objective overview series, is because there's a lot of research and I don't think I have the time to actually go over it to a degree that I would feel content with the amount of research that I did, right? And the problem with that is, like I said, unlike the tags, where it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, these are real people. And unlike the average Twitter user who is going to not give a shit, if I mess up and I misrepresent something, or I pick up something that is objectively wrong, it just adds more fuel to the fire that may not actually be accurate. And I when it comes to actually affecting real people, I don't want to wind up doing a fire and forget kind of deal in a way that could cause legitimate harm. Even me being, like, small or something, if, like, something takes off, there's a problem that could come up and whatnot. And there is a lot of research that would have to go into it, and a lot of delicate research. And then a lot of delicate wording as well, because, again, when it comes to most of what would go into this, those that are, in most cases, going to be malicious about it are going to be searching for every little potential spot to go, my argument is right. And ignore everything else around it. Because an overview would cover the existence of, like, some other controversies, like how everyone constantly brings up the, oh, but Fruit cheated, or, oh, hey, Tectone, how do I put this in a way? To take a tip from Seth in phrasing, snuggle with a struggle, because it's the R word. Everyone knows what word I'm talking about. It's one of those words that I think that even this far in YouTube would bonk me for saying. But, like, there's the two big allegations and whatnot between the two. And no one's going to give a shit if they're, like, against these people. They don't give a shit about anything else that surrounds it. They don't care about how false it is. They will go, oh, it was mentioned in this video. This video is labeled as objective. Clearly, that means that it's right. And then they will stop watching right when it's mentioned. Malicious actors do not give a shit about anything else. It's especially been shown over the past few months. Because, Jesus Christ. And then again, like I said, poor research could just make it worse. In every way, shape, or form. It's perfect research is unlikely to change the opinions of the people that are going to hate regardless, and poor research would likely just make it worse. Or poor phrasing alone. And the possibility of making things worse outweighs the chances of changing the minds of people that have already got their minds set on one side or the other. And again, these affect real people. It's not like the problem with series where it just affects fictional tags. There's also the fact that in certain cases, like if I were to cover certain, like, specific events or something, a passing idea was an objective overview over the Cinder drama. Royalty is here, being the primary person I can think of, has already done something similar to that. A good channel. I actually quite enjoy his content. He's, in several cases, gone looking into certain things expecting to go one way, and then since he looks at the actual facts of the matter, he has gone, oh, here's actually how, you know, things sit. But I wouldn't be able to add anything to it that I feel would be worth the time and effort for it all. And also, most of it would just be me covering the powder docket, which puts things into chronological order and then gives a few, like, pointing out that we don't have all the information. That's kinda it. And there's no point in me making a 10, 20, 30-minute video. In my opinion, that adds nothing to the conversation. Also, that's a topic that's just not really something that I care to bring up again. Because, as I've said multiple times, everyone that it matters to has already given their, like, 2 cents. Most of the people that are still involved in it are either people that their primary content is covering stuff like this, or people that still feel like they need to hold the shield wall or keep chucking javelins and firing arrows at the people that are manning the shield wall. No one in the grand scheme of things gives a shit at this point. Even the people directly involved, where they probably still, like, you know, care a little bit mentally, don't care to talk about it anymore, and just want to move on. It doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, that's pretty much why I canceled the idea. I had the idea on Friday, and I canceled it by Sunday morning. Because while I was showering, it just dawned on me of... I've seen, for the past however many years, like, namely for fruit and whatnot, freaking... Nobody cares how many facts, how many court documents of the events that transpired, how many freaking people directly involved in it come out, XYZ. People are still going to keep their particular freaking opinion on it, and still keep spouting it till the end of time. And, like, the primary reason that I actually, like, had the idea originally for it was the other topic of, like I said, Tectone was the other one. Like, for a while, I heavily disliked him. And I actually also am guilty of, at first, believing, like, just at face value, some of the shit that was being flung at him. But A, I looked more into it and, like, heard some of his side of everything. And B, looked at the people that were spreading it and realized that everyone that I had heard it from originally were pathological liars that have spent the past 2 years shit-flinging at people over a difference in opinion, and I'm like, oh. Okay, well, I'm not gonna take it at face value, I'll wait. And apparently, like, there's finally something in the works regarding court for, like, that, so, like, we'll get a more official kind of deal with that soon-ish. Soon is a very strong word. So I don't know, maybe my opinion will change based off of how that goes. I don't know. But I've seen a bunch of people that have firsthand interacted with him, and they have nothing but good things to say, and most of the people that are against him are people that solely go off of we have a difference in opinion kind of deal. So, I don't know. I don't agree with everything he says, and I'm still not like a big fan of him or anything. But at least, you know, when it comes to that particular thing, my opinion has shifted notably. And I don't hate the dude anymore. Like, I won't even lie on that. At the time, I, like, hated the dude. But I don't know, it's one of those weird things of, I think it's both my evolution of seeing how things play out, and like a few other related things, right? Is I've gotten to the point where I want to get more info on things before passing judgment. Like, I guess call that maturity or whatever. But it has been a recurring thing where I just see people that hand wave whatever their ideals are, or will, like, change sides on a whim just because of a simple disagreement. And especially over the past few months, I saw a lot of that. The Devil May Cry thing, where everyone was stroking off whoever the creator was or whatever of the TV series, I should specify, and being like, oh, well, he shouldn't have to freaking follow the game plot or anything, because then it'd just be boring, blah blah blah. And then he's like, I actually kind of like Asmongold, and then everyone's like, well, I always hated the guy, he fucking sucks, dude. Like, what an awful individual, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay. A similar thing happened with fucking Neil Druckmann or whatever the fuck his name is. Last of Us 2 dude. Like, half of us are just like, man, that whole thing kind of fucking sucked. And then everyone just freaking stroking him off, sucking him off, X, Y, and Z. He comes out later down the line, goes, I actually support freaking, I think he's on Israel's side or something like that, and that whole thing. And now everyone's like, well, he was actually always just a shit individual. I don't know why he ever got anything. It's like... bruh. And then the most recent one, of the whole Anna Valens, I'm really trying to reveal X, Y, and Z thing about what's going on in the VTuber space. Which tried to freaking masquerade as some sort of, like, profound piece of, I'm talking the news the way it really is, ignoring my freaking bias against Vice in general, due to the way that they handle literally anything. But it was actually just, like, 50 things of personal gripes. It was watered down to freaking... just VTuber drama. Under the guise of... fighting the good fight. And everyone's freaking like, oh yeah... X, Y, and Z, you're against this person, well, I'm on your side now, ignoring the, you know, the comments about R-word factories and mandatory free use in the streets and, ages of consent, you know, those comments that were blatantly made by the individual in question. And ignoring the fact that, you know, in the articles, like, there were blatant lies made when there are plenty of examples of reasons to actually, like, genuinely dislike the person that they were targeted at. Hi, can I help you? Please don't do that. But then freaking... to finish off that story, Valens freaking was like, actually, I don't hate Pippa. And then everyone's like, alright, you're not allowed at our party anymore. Fuck you. Always hated her. Always a bad individual. Can you not? Can you not lie on my keyboard, you little fuck? But yeah. Seeing just how freely people, like, will choose a singular comment as little as I don't hate X individual and then just decide... I hate everything about this individual that I have loved for X amount of time has kind of opened up my, you know, brain case a bit to wanting to look into certain things if people are, like, starting shit more before having any sort of, like, judgment call on it. Which led down the road of, you know, like we were discussing, kind of looking into people that I used to dislike or hate and realizing, oh, like, they're abrasive, they're loud, and they don't say everything that I agree with. Like, I'm not even gonna freaking split hairs on that. There's certain things that, like, Tectone has said that I don't agree with at all. And there's a few other people that are, like, under that controversial region. Like, pretty much everyone that was on that one list way back when. Not way back when, like, earlier this month. Or a bunch of people, like, a bunch of crazies freaking were like, actually, all these people are NZs. Something about freaking... Like, I don't agree with what a lot of them say and whatnot. And these were all VTubers, so we're not even freaking getting into some of the people that get, like, heavy. But, I don't have to agree with everything someone says in order to not think that they're a piece of shit. You don't have to agree with everything someone says. Unless they're actively... Unless the thing that you disagree with is something that's like basal. Can you fucking stop slapping my keyboard with your fat ass tail? Yeah, go. Scram. Shoot. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I think that people have gotten way too far into the point where they can't separate, like, petty versus serious at this point. It's so goddamn ingrained and whatnot. Where, and like, half the time, it's gotta be intentional. Like, you don't just accidentally freaking say that someone committed a literal crime because of a little spat. If you're falsely calling that shit out, if you're falsely, like, mentioning that stuff, there is malice there. It is malicious. And if you're saying it specifically because you had a small disagreement, you're a terrible individual. It's like if I freaking had a small disagreement about, I don't know, Tebber likes League, I don't like League. Because in some of these cases, these people were friends with each other, and then they just suddenly decided that one disagreement meant that it was time to start accusing them of crimes. And, like, this is going to be hyperbole for the sake of me just pointing out how insane some of this is. But I don't like League, Tebber likes League, right? It's like, if that single disagreement led to me accusing them of murdering 80 fucking... I don't know. I guess that at that point you would, like, openly know that it's fake, but, like, if I said, oh, actually, that Tebber individual, they actually murdered 3 people. and they buried the bodies under their basement. Don't ask the names for them, but I swear they did. Like, if I started something like that because of a disagreement in video games, right? That's how insane some of the shit gets. So I don't know, dude. It's actually wild as to how bad some of these get. But people that have their opinions are going to have their opinions permanently. The amount of, like, facts that I pull out on timeline and, like, in, like, whenever the court stuff happens with Tectone, or if I brought out all the court documents from, like, the Fruit timeline, and went through them individually and proved Fruit's husband was not freaking active service, and X, Y, and Z. Stuff that is in the actual court documents. The people that want to hate do not give a fuck. Her ex-husband had come out and said, yes, I fucking lied about that shit because I wanted her to suffer. And no one gives a fuck. So, it wasn't worth my time or energy. And if I got something wrong, the odds are it's just going to cause more harm. So I canceled the idea of the project. Full stop. I may like do something similar, but at that point it's basically at that point just VTuber Vault with potentially a flesh tuber like accent on it or something like that. And if I were to do that, it would be like them styled more closely to how Artist Archives was, where I just talk about what they do and whatnot. And then at that point, just bring them into a freaking talk show scenario. If possible, you know. Which, by the way, if any of you, either you two that I've mentioned happen to see this and would like to get into a talk show, I'd be down. But yeah, that's my long and short of it, or my 2 cents on it, and freaking... It's not happening. Because there are actual genuine stakes on it, and I don't want to inversely affect another individual because I make a mistake on something, you know? And if I do make this into a video, and any of you happen to watch this in video form instead of during the live stream, like and subscribe. I stream most days aside from Wednesday and Sunday. Anyway, I'm going to take my break now because I'm most of the way through my Twitch side ad break. I do want to, like, I don't know, get into one of those states where I'm not as worried about, receiving a bunch of shit due to my, like, how do I put it? The fact that I don't just off the cuff go, yes, I hate every single individual because they're on the other side of the line that I'm already standing right next to it. I mean, I guess that at, like, a certain point, there has to be a point where, like, there is so much distance that I can see where people kind of start just arguing for the sake of arguing. But there's some people that just will go, you're 2 inches from me. You're still on my end, but you're 2 inches closer to that line. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to just shoot you in the back now. And this goes for both sides that do this kind of shit. The most recent example is obviously, you know, shifted on one side because of the I don't hate Pippa. Well, I guess that you're banned from our table now, and we're going to excommunicate you from the entire website via brigading you as much as we possibly can. But this shit happens, like, everywhere. It doesn't fucking matter which side you're on. Christ knows that I've seen nothing but friendly firing on... I'd argue half the time that people friendly fire more often than they do, like, actually take shots at the opposing side at this point. To the point where, like... I mean, pick a week on Twitter and you'll freaking find a bunch of people that are basically orcs looking at Gork and Mork. Freaking... two bigwigs duking it out verbally, and then freaking everyone else is like, well, I guess I'll just get out my popcorn and we'll freaking watch this shit. Free show, I guess, today. It's so goddamn funny. But what do? You know... I just try and ride the tides as best as I can, and freaking try and make what little connections I can between here and there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I freaking have something like recently happened where I crash out 7 times because I find out that people that I was freaking friends with for years just don't feel the same way. And since I'm not freaking advancing fast enough for their eyes, they're like, well, guess that rung's going. Because it's not even like freaking them cutting off the ladder at that point. They're just freaking cutting off rungs after their foot is past them. So I don't know, dude. I do want to get a little bit better at, you know, like I said, I want to get better at talking and just kind of expressing my, you know, little brain worms. Without, like, worrying about suddenly waking up to 10 DMs from people that are so deep in deep with the shit that they are like, I can't believe that you dared to say that, I don't know, freaking I guess the topically freaking... I can't believe that you dared say that Tectone isn't the worst individual on all of Twitch. If we're to, like, go based off of people that I did name today. And fucking... who's to know what'll happen? Like, not everyone is even reasonable, I don't think, out of the people that I regularly talk to. Like, I can have a disagreement and talk with, like, Kraka or Tepper. And we'll be like, okay, I disagree, and I have a differing opinion on how this goes, but we can have a discussion like adults, because we're adults. We don't have to 100% have the exact same wavelength on every single topic. We don't have to have our brain copy-pasted across each other in order to be friends. And we can have these discussions like adults. And obviously there's occasionally, like, a point where we both have a little bit more strain in our brains than usual. And we'll have, like, a little petty spat or something like that. But then we apologize, like, the following day or something once we've cooled off, and it's fine. Meanwhile, there's some other people that are like, if there's a slight disagreement, it turns into a micro lecture at the minimum. And I get a very hand-waved, but like 15-minute deconstruction as to why I shouldn't enjoy or I should absolutely hate X individual. And then I'm questioned as to why I don't want to fucking talk about X, Y, or Z anymore. Why don't you want to talk about thing going on right now? Because my opinion is not exactly like the people that are so close to the edge on that side that they are doing that comical arm flailing about to fall animation. And I know that if I give my opinion on thing, you're going to, at the very least, sidestep. At the worst, argue for the next 15 minutes, lecture me on why I'm bad on this, and make false equivalencies. Or try and attack the person's character due to something that is completely unrelated to the thing. Because I've been told freaking Doki is a terrible individual because a few people that may not even watch her tried to use her as a cudgel against other Niji people. There is zero proof that they are actually associated with her. She openly states she doesn't want to freaking interact at all with that part of her life anymore, and has openly stated she doesn't want people to go after that back at the time. And I don't think that someone who doesn't talk about something constantly, or doesn't even refer to any of it anymore, should have to constantly remind people when, like, two people are doing something. I don't think that they should have to lecture 3.5 thousand people daily about, hey, probably don't do this thing. When people that are there for what's going on currently. And the two people that are being the two bad actors out of the whole thing are likely not even actually watching. So I don't think that there's any need for using that as a reason why someone is bad. There was someone else that was... I don't remember who the other person was we discussed during that conversation. I just remember that Doki was one that was mentioned because the person that I was talking to really lectured me on why I should never talk about Doki because of a few bad eggs in the whole thing that were trying to waive some sort of battle standard that she didn't want waived anyway. Like, people are going to freaking be up in arms about whatever the fuck they want to be at. Like we talked about just a bit ago. People are going to be up in arms about whatever they want to be up and about. And they're going to use whatever weapon they can. Whatever weapon they think that they can about it. And half the time, they won't even use the weapons that are laying right there on the ground. They're going to freaking... go into the woodshed, try and find a shovel with a broken handle from overuse. Or they're gonna try and duct tape together a weasel corpse that they found to a 2x4 and try and use that as a weapon. Rather than pick up the, you know, the shotgun that was laying right there on the ground. Fully loaded. I don't know if it's low-hanging fruit logic or what for half of this stuff. But, like, it's like only 3 people in the world are allowed to have the brain cell at any given time. Let me jump through 17 hoops and make up a lie to hate X person. Meanwhile, person sitting there has said or done actual things that, depending on your point of view, you can use to freaking actually hate them. Because they have to make up things in order to make sure everyone agrees with them. Because they have to jump through a hoop or make up the worst possible thing that they can to try and cast a big net made out of toothpicks. The net falls apart if a single fish tries to struggle against it. But they're going to try and grab as many goddamn fish as they can before a single fish tries to struggle. By using the label of objectively wrong thing. Thing that everyone agrees is bad. And then the people that are being accused have to guilty until proven innocent themselves. Which is absolute absurdity, dude. And this isn't even like exclusive to court of public opinion shit. Like, I've seen the US court system in action. Judges or juries will just see one side, go, okay, that's how it is. And then the defense has to go and prove the absence of evidence. Prove the absence of existence. Which I don't know if you've, like, if you have a idea as to how difficult that kind of thing is. Like, proving that something doesn't exist. But it's a bit difficult. Because what's a good way to put this? In order to prove that something does exist, this is difficult because the sheer number of things that there are that don't exist, that we can prove don't exist, are very few in themselves. But I guess that the best way to do it is, like, using something else as an example, like, okay, so say something does exist, and we've never seen it before. We can prove that something exists if it does exist eventually. Like coelacanths. People would say, oh, this does exist. Oh, I swear that we still have coelacanths. Oh, I swear we still have coelacanths. And, like, everyone's like, okay, prove it. Because scientifically, you have to prove something exists. And it was, like, a constant thing. And eventually, like, a fish market happened that had deep sea caught a coelacanth and is like, oh yeah, we've been catching those for years. And then it was proven. All you need is the evidence, and it's proven. Proving the absence of something is extremely difficult by comparison. Because you need to... Because how do you prove without a shadow of the doubt that there's not something? And when you're trying to do that, you have to fight the people that are believers regardless. Megalodon, for instance, we have all the proof of there haven't been any teeth that have shown up over X number of years, even in comparison to every other shark tooth that we still have that washes up on shore. There is no evidence via any predation that shows up. There is no evidence of actual eyesight, blah blah blah, right? They're like, oh, but it's below the Marianas Trench. Oh, it's there's these false documentaries that totally prove that there's evidence, blah blah blah. The only thing that we really have, like, that proves the absence of something is the absence of light in black holes. But we're not really proving the absence of light, we're proving the existence of the black hole that's there. You technically prove the absence of the other thing because you prove the existence of something else. Which isn't exactly something that works in many other cases. Because there's not a whole lot of cases where something existing proves the lack of existence of something else in that area. And even in these cases, just because the black hole exists in X space does not immediately disprove the existence of light. I have a light above my computer right now. My phone, my monitors, they're all producing light. The sun exists. A black hole 6.9 million light years away. Nice, by the way. Does not stop the existence of our sun. So it's a fringe example that doesn't even work. That's why we're supposed to do innocent until proven guilty, because it's easier to prove the existence of something than it is to prove the lack of existence. It is easier to prove a murder via a corpse, a bloody knife, a gun that matches with the bullet in the person's skull. The tires on someone's car matching with the treads on someone's freaking torso, XYZ. I don't even know if that's a thing. That might just be a thing in movies, where, like, the treads are easily identifiable on, like, someone's torso due to bruising or something. But it's easier to prove that than it is... Alright, prove you didn't kill him. What do you have? Like, your alibi? If due process has gone through up until now, then your alibi should have stopped you from even having to enter the courtroom. You were caught on camera in freaking Frank's bar, which is one state over from the incident that happened 2 minutes before the assumed incident. It's a pretty good alibi, and something that should have, you know, stopped you from being brought in the first place. I mean, I guess you get to that point, just bring it up again. It is pretty good proof. It's physical, visible evidence that is not from a biased source that you were in X place when Y happened. But at that point, it's once again, you are proving the existence of something else that just tangentially provides the lack of existence of another thing. God forbid you freaking... Again, the Megalodon incident. Bigfoot. People will have X, Y, and Z explanation as to why Bigfoot exists, no matter how much lack of evidence there is, or how many other incidents there are that prove the lack of existence of it, or whatever. I actually have the scalp from Bigfoot. Aha. That was actually a scalp from an orangutan that we have its DNA records in the Colorado Zoo. Oh, well, what about this footprint? You mean the one that matches with those shoes in her closet over there that... Well, actually, what about these hair samples I have? Deer, wolf, bear, human. This one's actually just a blend of 3 different things that you fused together. I have no idea how you did this, but the DNA literally matches up with all 3 of the other things. So I don't know, dude. Well, what do you even do at that point? At least those are like innocent kind of things. It's not like the freaking finger pointing that goes on in the online space. where you're trying to prove the lack of evidence of something that happened like 20 years ago or something like that. Well, actually, the records have all gotten burned since then, and the records were... I mean, like, records are just worse back then, firstly. But you just get accusations of sabotage or omission or X, Y, or Z, destroyed evidence, blah, blah, blah. However, I have this one instance where I found someone that sounds quite like you saying in an Xbox Live lobby the N-word. Clearly that means that you murdered Miss Gretchen. What? Doing, you know, X thing does not immediately mean Y thing. It's some wild shit, dude. And I could not imagine freaking keeping track of every single thing that happens. Like, even recently, there was like 3 different Google Docs that freaking showed up in my freaking For You segment, and I looked into it and I'm like, I don't follow Party A, I don't follow Party B, I'm obviously not subscribed to any of them because I've never heard of them before now. Not my problem. I'm not friends with anyone involved. Like the freaking Callum drama that was going on freaking 2 months ago or a month ago or something like that. That was... I don't even fucking know, dude. I don't know how that played out. Freaking... There was people from 6 different angles that were all freaking arguing with each other. It was like that, scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where freaking everyone's just pointing guns at each other, and it's like... There's not even sides here at this point. We're just all freaking... trying to nip at each other's ankles for 0 reason. And it was, like, just a standard argument between people. It didn't need to... It didn't need to blow up as far as it did, dude. But it did. Because everyone's gotta argue with someone, and if they're not arguing with someone, then they've gotta freaking find someone to argue with. I don't know how people freaking keep up with this shit, like... as often as they do, dude. God forbid you're one of the people that wants to, like, police, like we were talking about earlier about this stuff. Imagine having to babysit the timelines, everything from likes to retweets. Not just stuff that they, like, themselves say, but, like, babysitting every single step someone makes. Of your mutuals. And then people that'll, like, guilt by association people as a result of that. Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, for VTuber groups or something, that'll come up, and they'll be like, actually... And I don't know why I've started freaking pulling out the Cletus voice for this. I think I've been playing too much goddamned, too much Deponia. Actually... you follow this person, and this person did this thing. Or this person is following this other person who is actually doing this bad thing. You're not actually supporting this kind of shit, are you? And it's like, no, how am I supposed to freaking know? I follow 5,000 people! I check Twitter in the mornings. Do you know what I see in the mornings? I see Tohor, something in Japanese, Tohor. Unless it shows up in that little snippet of my For You shit, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And you know what I normally see in there? A couple people that went live 14 hours ago, and people talking about good things that have happened. I reached partner. Hey, do people want to collab? Hey, collab? Hey, new friends? Hey, look at this upgrade that I made. Hey, trend that's currently going on. It's beautiful. And God forbid if I had to freaking constantly see the shit that you see. I would lose my mind if all I saw was the world is ending. This person accidentally stepped on their dog on camera, and that means that they're an abuser. Freaking... They clearly intentionally stepped on their dog's tail while they were moving a box and couldn't see below them. Excuse me. I have a dog. I have cats. I know how things get. Half the time, they'll freaking walk in front of you while you're moving. It just kinda happens sometimes. And you know what I do? I make sure that they're okay. I freaking... I'll pet them and maybe give them a treat as an apology. That's all it is. And you know what they normally do in those cases where they've accidentally stepped on the dog? They finish what they're doing. Then they pet them, make sure they're okay, and maybe give them a treat as an apology. Ah. They're a normal pet owner? That had an accident at one? That just happened to be caught on stream? Wow. It's not like they're freaking throwing their cat over their back or freaking spitting alcohol into their mouth. There's probably not even people that understand what I'm talking about anymore when I make that reference. That was like 5 years ago. I don't even know if that person streams anymore. And I'm not gonna freaking bother saying their name because I'm not gonna freaking start up a whole other freaking group of people that understand that freaking reference. And if they've improved, then good on them for improving. Either way, I have to use the bathroom. I will be right back. But yeah, that's part of why I freaking... let me actually move over to this again. That's part of why I've been shifting more toward Twitter again. Ironic, I know. But like, freaking Blue Sky had this habit of being on such a hair trigger at that point that I freaking... had to shift. Even... I check my mutuals tab, and that's all I check on there. And even then, sometimes I feel like I need to trim it a bit more. Because, like... Please pause that. But, yeah, things got like such a hair trigger. I had to prune a lot, dude. And even then, like, I don't know, sometimes I look around and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Make Twitter look sane and you're freaking... When you make Twitter look sane, there's problems, dude. I don't know. I don't understand, like, how people live like that. Just constantly keeping their pulse on, like, the most volatile stuff and whatnot, and freaking getting set off over every little thing and whatnot. Dude. And then, like, throwing accusations and shit when people that don't want to constantly be, you know, reminded of everything going on outside while they're freaking looking at their anime girls. And then you wonder why they leave. And it's like... Probably because they just want a break, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, actually. I might bust out a little game that I downloaded yesterday. Was it yesterday? Because I don't know if I'll Tuhu art tomorrow. I might just do a small Toho fan game. And art off stream. I'd like to get Harper's art done tonight. So hopefully that goes to plan, and then we're figuring out what we do tomorrow. I don't know, I kind of just want to vibe, you know? And, what is it called? Murenscape or something like that? It's like a Toho, RuneScape-esque thing. And it looked really cute, so I kind of want to play around with that a bit. Oh, we'll see what happens, right? I mean, heck, I didn't even know what I was going to do today until this morning. Technically. Why are you... Okay. It was not the response that I thought it was. I was like, I thought that I was getting the follow-up again. I thought that I was getting, sent the same key again. But no, it was them saying that they didn't see my stream of it, / video of it thing. And that's because I was stupid and forgot to switch categories when I actually played the game. So who knows, blah blah blah. Oh well, what do you do? I do kind of want to look around for a few other things to do on like Fridays and whatnot. Maybe we might, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like how I want to organize my schedule as far as like what types of streams. Like I said, today's Yap stream was kind of just thrown into last minute idea. Because we freaking... Oops, I need to shuffle this. The original plan was for me to continue to pony it today. I just kind of, on a whim, decided that I wanted to yap because, well, I had to throw out the video idea, and I kind of wanted to talk about the reasons why, and part of the reason why was an important topic, to me at least. So I didn't want to just leave that sitting around on the back burner for however long. I actually took a few notes, like, in my note-taking app in order to make sure that I remembered what I wanted to cover for it. Because, like I said, it came to mind this morning and I didn't feel like going live at the time, so I just decided I'll take some notes on, like, the portions of this that I want to cover, and then I'll talk about it tonight instead. So that's what I did. And we had a nice little yap about it that I'll probably chop out and then upload as an independent video for clickbait purposes. It won't even really be clickbait, like the title and the freaking thumbnail will probably be a little clickbaity, but it's not like I'm saying that I'm freaking revealing some deep dark info about him or anything. Probably only go for another half hour, or not a half hour, but 15 minutes or so, because I am getting very hungry. And I would like to get some food. I don't know, I should probably go a half hour, that way I'm closer to midnight when I actually do eat. But I like our little yap sessions. It allows me to get a few things off my chest, allows me to freaking... do stuff that my computer can actually handle, even if barely, as you can tell by me lagging. And it's kind of helping me get, like, better at the whole talking thing, as far as, like, trying to get better at not being as afraid to, like, speak my mind, you know? Because like I said, I do get like a little nervous in the back of my brain. Due to knowing how some people are. And not really wanting to have to worry about like a whole ass like 17 spammed messages thrown at me. Because it's not even like to me, it's at me when people go off like that. But then again, I need to get into my mindset of like, I mean, I've had my weekend of realization. I mean, I guess it was a whole week or more than a week. And I kind of just need to get used to being able to accept that kind of stuff. Because if I can't, if I can't express myself normally among friends, like, are we friends? If we're going to argue over, like, if we're gonna argue over me liking to watch fucking, I don't know, who is someone that I actively like to watch that some people might not? I mean, I guess that any big VTuber that I watch, like it would be Tier. Tier doesn't like watching bigger VTubers. I do like watching big VTubers. Tier doesn't have a problem with me watching it, obviously. We're not gonna freaking go arguing about, oh, but if you don't freaking watch XYZ, then we can't be friends, blah, blah, blah. But like, as an example, if I were to get griped at by Tier because I watch larger VTubers, and he were to just decide, I'm not allowed to do that, or we're not friends anymore, then I guess we wouldn't be friends anymore. That would just kind of be the be-all, end-all of it. And I mean, I don't have a problem with giving that example because, I mean, Tier isn't that extreme in his dislike for watching larger VTubers. His main thing is that he doesn't want to just be seen as a number, which is an understandable angle to have to it. I'm not gonna freaking say that he's, stupid for freaking wanting to actually be seen as a person, Because there is a certain threshold where you kind of, aside from regulars or genuine friends, you do kind of just have to start regulating how you see people. Like, every one of them is still a person, but if you have like 3,000 people, and you see every single one of them as like an actual friend that you need to keep up with XYZ, you're gonna run yourself ragged. I know of a few people that are like 400, 500 that are like, these are people that I have to interact with, and if they message me, I have to respond to them. And they drive themselves insane as a result of it. And you just kind of have to either drive yourself insane or reach that point where you're like, okay, there is a certain threshold that we have to freaking leave, otherwise we are going to go insane. Which normally winds up being genuine friends, like friends, and mods, because obviously you got to keep track of your mod team. You have to keep up with them and whatnot. And even then you have to be, like... Then you have another level of... Some people do just decide to get mod so that they can try and get closer to you as a streamer. And then freaking... Then they want to bang. Which happens. I'm not gonna freaking say that it doesn't happen. Like, I've seen firsthand people that go like, well, actually, I've always wanted to bang, and I've been such a good mod for freaking 6 years. Can I have that number and have some of them big old titty pictures? Also, thanks for the hydrate and the posture. Once again, my Mix It Up does not actually show those, so I freaking sometimes miss those unless I look down at my phone, which actually does have it. Well, not half bad. My big long weekend of pain is over, so... And I also reorganized some things to be, you know, up to date, so... Things have gone quite well. Yeah, it's a long story. Just freaking people deciding to do certain things and showing true colors on their, how do I put this? Friend versus number stance. Where they wind up seeing you for your CCV rather than, you know, the fact that you've been friends for X number of years or whatever. But it's done and dusted, so it is what it is. I just wound up yapping because, like I said, I threw a couple projects out the window because I realized that they weren't going to really be worth the amount of time and effort that they would, in order to get them right. That they would require to get them right. And yeah, at least it's over. Christ knows that... Who knows what freaking other shit there is at this point. I can't even say I have a caffeine addiction, I guess. That's true. When I had to go cold turkey on freaking coffee, it didn't... it didn't affect me at all. Because I'm probably going to have to go cold turkey on coffee again once the current setup is freaking done, which is going to be interesting as to how I appetite suppress until time to actually eat. Because of that beautiful 25% tariff on everything. Which is going to be interesting for any makeshift things from here on out, too. I mean, I have like a pot of coffee and then gamer subs. Lid wasn't all the way on. Oops. Good thing that's water. But I don't really have much effects from caffeine, so... It'll probably wind up, like I said, we run out of freaking the current coffee. We're probably not going to get any more anytime soon. It's not like it freaking changes me any. A loud pop? What the fuck? Did like the whole lid come off, or was it just the freaking flapper? I mean, I normally freaking keep my finger over the flapper just to make sure. Kind of wind up, due to the size of the gamer subs ones, I freaking wind up shaking it more like a bartender kind of shaker, a mixer, whatever the fuck they're called. It's always the time that you think they're the most secure. And that's when they make a fool out of you. I really, really wish that I could, like, fully disable certain sites from going, hey, do you want to make this your default? Do you want to add our app? No. I would really just like to use you when I'm trying to use you. I don't need my email constantly freaking pinging me every time that someone sends me something. Yeah, I can definitely understand why that would kind of just stun lock you for a moment. Because, I mean, what do you even do right there? You're out, like, a chunk of your drink. You've got freaking mixed water all over the place. You basically got to do a full wash down now because It's gonna attract insects and shit if you don't full wash down it now. Awful. I don't know if I freaking didn't screw down all the way the other day or what, but a small amount of it leaked under the lid. And I just had to freaking wash down my mouse pad because it got up onto that. Jesus fucking Christ. So it was just a full, like, full kitchen cleaning after that. That's insanity. I'd be pissed. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, makes sense. At that point, like, all the wind is just out of your sails. Because it took all of your motivation and mental strength to not just lash out in anger as a result of that. I mean, Christ knows that even without that, I freaking have had, like, all of my motivation just drained from basic shit. Heat being the big one currently. Not today. Today was fine, but, like, God, there are certain days where I could sleep for 12 hours and still feel like I got none. Yeah. And you being stuck around places that are like coastal, well, you have to deal with the humidity like constantly. At least I only have to deal with the humidity when I, like, in the immediate proximity of rain this week. Like the day before and then like 2 days after or something like that. Coastally, you gotta freaking deal with just constant humidity. I'd imagine, anyway. I don't know, heat combined with humidity is normally freaking just... bleh. Could swim through the air, freaking drowning while on dry land and shit. Let's skip a few of these songs. Go here. I've never heard of anyone saying that the dry heat fucked with you. Aside from the fact that you burn instead of tan, I didn't think I'd ever hear those words. I know that while doing shows, it was the freaking humidity that killed you, because no matter how much you sweat, you just can't freaking cool off, because there's nowhere for the... the sweat to actually evaporate, too. That fucking sucked, dude. You know, it was the climate differential thing. I don't know what to classify Ohio as. Ohio is the we don't ever get to acclimate. I think we only get to like 108 here. Still not exactly fun, but it's not 112, so small mercies, I guess. At a certain point, I think that you kind of just stop feeling the difference, though. And just start suffering. And at that point, I have to sit and lie on ice packs, otherwise I become hyperthermic. Because I produce too much body heat, and it has to go somewhere. And God almighty, do I not think I could handle a hospital visit. And by that I mean I couldn't afford one. It's not even I don't think at that point. I just know I can't. That's awful. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I could not do that. I physically would not be able to. Thankfully, I am immune to draft now, so it's fine. Unless they raise the age, which I wouldn't put it past them at this point. Don't know how past them turned into pastor in the captions, but cool. I don't know. I enjoyed doing shows, but God, am I glad to have most all of my stuff be not me dying. $27. Which last I knew was when you stop being in draft range. Not that it matters anyway. I'd get freaking booted out unless they put me on a computer anyway because my knee's too fucked up to actually go through even basic. But I was at fault for that one. Thanks, U.S. legal system. It wasn't even the legal system, it was just the cops there that were assholes. Freaking trying to gaslight me and shit. Dickheads. Skip that one. I mean, honestly, any day now as far as the shit hits the fan thing, though. Okay, I am absolutely starving, so I think I will hunt down a raid target. Because I'm about 15 minutes out from when I schedule myself to eat. No, I'm not gonna raid into you. I don't really want to raid into Marvel Rivals. I don't want to raid into Harper tonight because I'll raid into them tomorrow. The feeling in what way? Reasonable enough, I suppose. Like I said, my mental is better than it was over the weekend. I'm not, like, dying of hunger like I was, last Tuesday. Last Tuesday was real bad. But I think that was also a lack of sleep that caused that, because that was, like, I had crashed out 3 separate days. Leading up to that. Just due to bad news on top of bad news on top of, you know, realizing that some people aren't as honest as they'd like you to think. We're still running into that problem this week of freaking Umamusume, peak, Umamusume. And that's gonna be like a recurring thing, I think, to be honest. $12K for Blue Archive? What the fuck, dude? Did you get rated or are you... We're right into Dionysus or Omi. You know what? We're right into Omi. I've wanted to raid into him for a hot minute. He's also got one of those chibi models that have been going around a lot. No, wait, it's not the same one that's been going around. This is the one that's by the same one that did Michi's. Which is very very ironic and probably a little intentional. You know, both the ones that have scars on their faces and whatnot. We are going to be waiting for like half a year as literally anything loads. Fuck! We're not going to be raiding into Omi. Omi's ending. I lied. Guess it could have been worse. Everything could have loaded and we could have raided in like five seconds before the end instead of, you know. This person is celebrating their partner. They're on dinner break. Speaking of which, I hate mukbangs, whatever the fuck they're called. I hate observing and listening to people eat with a passion. It's part of why I can't stand ASMR in general, is because everyone and their mother has zero pop filter on their mic, so all you hear is their smacking lips and them blowing into the goddamn mic with every word. It is rancid. Go back to plan A then. Well. I don't know. I don't know what people enjoy about ASMR. If people actually enjoy listening to people smack their lips and freaking just the popping sound of wind against the mic every 2 seconds, then by all means, I guess. How's how you doing, Tier? Yeah, I don't know. I just have absolutely no comprehension of why the fuck people do the things that they do or, like, consume some of these things. I don't know what the fuck someone was doing last night in call during Teber's stream. But they were freaking... I don't know if they were eating or what, so it fucking... I've had to yell at Eric a couple times because he'll eat something and he freaking... I don't know if he chews with his mouth open or what. I have to freaking yell at him about it, though. Either way. That's neither here nor there. Mine will pick up my silverware if it's too close to the bowl. And if I've got something extremely crunchy, it'll pick up, like, the crunch. But otherwise, it's not too bad. It gets really bad during the summers because the fans already reach the level of, the edge of the freaking noise gate. So it pushes it over the edge whenever there's, like, any major noise. I don't know. Mine are fans rather than AC. The only AC is the freaking window units scattered throughout the house. Which I had to... I now know that I need to freaking have my pop filter on in VRC because the threshold means that I'm always freaking hot miking in VRC. Oh, my mouse disappeared. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's like the go-to joke, though, tier. Everyone does that, because if you're going to immediately jump to, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you, then fuck it, I'm going to piss you off. Also, that's not even a threat in most cases. It's 2025, we all want to die. This is my final message. Twitch is going to give me a 1-month vacation because I said those words, and they're going to think that it was an actual threat. And for my quote-unquote mental health, they're going to take away one of my only sources of income. One day that joke will age. It is not today. Here, both Tebra and I have threatened you like that multiple times. Not as bad as it gets for Sarah, but we have threatened you. Can, like, my Twitch actually fucking load, dude? Would it help if I paused the freaking preview? So that there's not 2 freaking streams attempting to fucking play at the same time. I really wish that I had my new PC. I wish that I had any PC that freaking was working. Too bad someone had to fucking steal the damn thing. Still don't know how the fuck that happens. How do you not fucking see someone walk out with a whole ass tower? Or just not acknowledge it. They should care. These warehouses are supposed to be fucking... They should have cameras on the outside. I mean, yes, the answer is that the reason the person stole it is because they're probably underpaid and needed the extra money. That's like direct line on that one. Either way, I finally am able to actually fucking raid, so that's gonna be for me tonight. I really need food. I'm past when I intended to go because everything's fucking breaking. There's the socials. You can join the Discord, follow me on Blue Sky, or follow me on Twitter. My card is also there. It's where all my commission info and all the other links to everything also. I try to keep up to date on all that shit, and I've been doing a pretty good job on that. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the follows, rates, all that good jazz. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for who knows what. It'll be on one of those. It'll be on all of those. Love y'all. Bye.